Hi. So yes, so we were there. So I get very involved when I start talking about history. It takes time and time and time. See, my last video went for 20 minutes. I don't know if I'll be able to upload that or not. So I'll just basically wrap up this session today till here. So we were talking about the Delhi Sultanate. It was an Islamic empire based in Delhi that stretched over larger parts of the Indian subcontinent of 320 years, which I told you, 1206 to 1526. Five dynasties ruled over the Delhi Sultanate sequentially: the Mamluk 1206 to 1290, the Khilji, the Mamluk or the slave dynasty, which is in your book. It's called the Mamluk dynasty or the slave dynasty 1206 to 1290, Khilji dynasty 1290 to 1320, the Tughlaq dynasty 1320 to 1414, the Sayyid dynasty 1414 to 1451, and the Lodi dynasty from 1451 to 1526. These dates, boss, you have to put it inside your head. Okay? You might forget it. During exam, I'm not telling you have to remember your whole lifetime like that, but for the time being, you have to know these dates so that it goes into your mind and you try to digest those dates. Yes, suppose you are reading a book, suddenly you are reading about Delhi Sultanate, your dates will come to your mind. Okay, it's not possible. We are not God. We are not machines. We are not even for a hard drive, we have to go to that folder and take out the information. If I open the computer, information doesn't just pop up. Only if I type and take out that folder where I have written those dates, then only it will come up. Otherwise, it won't. So we are not a machine. A machine also cannot give you instantly an answer. You open the laptop or you open a computer and say, and you just shout, give me my dates. It does not give you. Okay, so that you need a who listens to your voice. Isn't it a voice recognizer laptop you need who will listen to your voice and you'll talk to him, and you need a robot, like in Japan, which you have, you tell the robot, put on my AC, your AC comes on. And the robot also knows what type of temperature you need, what type of temperature you like. It's like that BMW car. You sit in your driving seat, it adjusts to your comfortability. Okay, so it's like that. So you have to program it. So your programming is, you have to get into the program, as in I am programming you with these dates. You learn it and keep it in your hard drive, and when and when needed, you can take it out when the time comes. Always you can't just talk about Delhi Sultanate. This is Razia Sultan, that is Qutub, that was Khalji. No. It's not done that way. Just learn it and keep it. So when you open your history part, when you are studying, then those dates reflect in your brain. That's all I need. Okay, rest will happen slowly, step by step. Okay, so let's get back. So Qutbuddin Aibak, a former Turkic Mamluk slave, he was a slave of Muhammad Ghori, was the founder of the Delhi Sultanate, and his Mamluk dynasty conquered large areas in North India. Afterwards, the victory of Khilji dynasty expanded in the south. The Sultanate reached its peak geographical areas during the Tughlaq dynasty, occupying most of the Indian subcontinent. This was followed by the decline of Hindu reconquest, and states such as Vijayanagar Empire and Mewar and all, they started having an collateral thing together, and the new Muslim Sultanate such as Bengal, and Bengal Sultanate also broke up from there. In 1526, the Sultanate was conquered and succeeded by the Mughal Empire. Now Mongols and Mughals. Mughals is Mughal and Mongols are Mongols. Okay. Now the Sultanate period is noted as the integration for the subcontinent into a global cosmopolitan culture, which I explained it to you, as concretely the development of the Hindustani language, which I gave you an explanation. The Indo-Islamic culture came in between, being one of the few powers of repel attacks by the Mongols, the descendants of Genghis Khan from the Southeast Asia. Okay. Mostly from China and Russia. Okay, they were a separate group who were trying to come into India and attack India, and for enthroning one of the few female rulers during that time was our one and only Razia Sultana, who reigned from 1236 to 1240. Bakhtiyar Khilji's annexions were responsible for a large scale of desecration. Okay, desecration of Hindu and Buddhist temples, it was all demolished, leading to the decline of Buddhism in East India, that is Bihar, India and all. something's happened leading to the decline of Buddhism in East India, and Bengal went down. But during the destruction, although of his first disruptive for the Indian elites, the Sultanate largely left a vast amount of non-Muslim subject population to its own law and customs and jurisdictions, whatever, etc., etc. But repeatedly repulsing Mongol traders, these Mughals of China, and China from a long time has been disturbing India. These guys, they have disturbed us with the COVID-19 also again. Wuhan, useless country. And now they have declared war. I was reading in the newspaper today, I was reading the news on my mobile, and it says that he's declared war. He doesn't care against who, but he's told his military to get ready. Let's see what happens. Anyways, so many things are happening. We had the COVID, then suddenly we had the locust deriving and demolishing all the crops. About 14,000 hectares of land crops have been trying to be saved, but some has gone down. Now the locusts are in Punjab and Gujarat. So let's see what's happened. By God's grace, everything should be fine. But you all keep safe and be at home. Okay. So what happened is, when the Mughal raiders started coming and devastating India from on the West and Central Asia, setting the scenes of century, they were stopping it. But during this action going on, few fleeing soldiers, learned men or seers, mystics, traders, artists, artisans from that region into the subcontinent they came in, thus creating a syncretic Indo-Islamic culture. Got it? Which made it more rich in culture. So we are going to keep it till here, and next time we'll just go with, I'll just give you a background actually what happened, what was this all about, so that you can get a connectivity with Muhammad of Ghazni, and how from Ghazni, from the Ghurid, it came into the slaves. How did Qutbuddin Aibak become the first slave? It's very interesting, it's a story. Now we read one part of Muhammad Ghazni and Muhammad Ghori, okay fine, then suddenly we come into the Sultanate period. That doesn't make sense, isn't it, sometimes? How did it happen? Okay, Ronin sir is saying Qutbuddin Aibak was in charge of the slave dynasty, but what happened before that? How did he, whose slave was he? He was a Muhammad Ghori, okay. Before Muhammad Ghori, what happened in Ghazni, that chapter, it is not written. Qutbuddin Aibak was not named there, even if once or twice his name has been given, but he was not acclaimed anywhere regarding the Cholas and the Rajputs and the Deccans, and only we have read about the Rajputs, the Tomars of Delhi, Chauhans, Ghaznavids, and Muhammad of Ghazni and Muhammad of Ghori. Suddenly, where does Qutbuddin Aibak come? So I am going to give you a related story to this, so that you can get chapter. So why is chapter 3 coming after 2, and what relation does 3 and 2 have together? This is my sole interest. Okay? So see you on Thursday again, and I guess I'll put up some notes for you till where I have taught you, so that you can read and study and understand. Okay? So till then, take care, be safe, be home, enjoy life, play games, not too much of PUBG and Free Fire. Okay? Listen to the radio, radio is happening very nice now. Radio is going on good, 92.7, you are having some sit and draw something at home, that drawing competition is going on for the environment, because there are so many thousands and lakhs of trees are going to get demolished, they are not going to be found, so animals are going to die. So we are taking precaution for this World Environment Day to celebrate it and take care of animals and plants and trees. That's why I told you to plant. I don't know, that plant must be there, but it's raining sometimes also, so God is going to keep that plant there. That Tulsi plant which you had planted for me, it was a gift from class 6, so I guess it's going to be in September, it's going to be 1 year. So let's see what happens to that plant. I really want to go back and see it. I miss that plant, because I used to also water it sometimes, and Cheetah and Tiger we used to take, and Ayush and Divyanshu's also watered the plant. Shivam has also done it, Sachin has also done it. The girls haven't done it, but I hope this time they'll go and water it. So anyways, Soumya, Nikki and Sonali and all, Anushka, Pallavi, you all take some more action into it, and try to make something done into it, and let's grow that plant and make it big. That's a life also. So we see that plant and we can also grow like that. So best of luck guys, have fun, take care of yourself and do whatever you want after your studies, and I'll see you on Thursday. Bye bye, take care, God bless.